Namaskar and very good evening, okay, to all participants of this class. I'm very happy to see you again for another session. This is our fifth session in the Bhagavad Gita series. Okay, today we will continue in chapter 2, Sankhya Yoga. I would like to begin the class by paying obeisance to my Guru Deva, Sri Sri Ananda Murthy, who inspires this initiative. This will be the outline of this week's class. Okay, then I shall repeat some basic principles. The very purpose of these classes is actually to articulate about the principles of Sanathana Dharma. Okay, a living being or a soul is in a journey to return to its source of Brahma. And this urge to return to Brahma is inherent and natural for every soul or Atman, and therefore it is called soul's natural Dharma. Okay. And the second point is every living being has to fulfill Purushartha. That means when you came to this world, you are embodied. You have a physical body, and you have a psychic body, okay, and you have also the astral body before reaching your source or the core of your being, which is the Atman. And as a result of that, you need to fulfill four aspects, which is known as Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. Okay, Kama concerns your physical body, which means your survival. Artha is to fulfill your need for progress. And throughout history, from 15 to 20,000 years in the recorded history, we have seen that human beings have they have attained or they have made tremendous amount of progress. So this is the result of pursuing Kama and Artha. Okay, pursuing Kama means you need to survive. Basically, you need to survive. Okay, to survive, so you need some basic necessities such as food, medical treatment, house. Okay, you also need to procreate. Okay, so anything which concerns the physical body is Kama, and this happens naturally. Means the instinct to survive. And because human beings, they have a more developed mind and more advanced consciousness. Okay, my Guru Deva used to call this as a clearly reflected consciousness. Okay, he used this term, clearly reflected consciousness. Okay, because of a more developed mind. Okay, in earlier classes I've mentioned that you have this conscious, subconscious, and unconscious. Okay, all these minds are these are layers of mind, and it is more developed, especially the subconscious mind compared to the animals. Therefore, you don't see any progress in animal life. Okay, they're still the same. Even the closest to humans, the apes, they also didn't make any significant progress. Even if you look at the last 1,000 years, okay, they may evolve, but they did not make progress like human being. Okay, so that is because of the more advanced consciousness. Okay, and this advanced consciousness also make human being to strive for progress continuously. That means they don't stop at what you call the current state of progress. I mean, the progress is at physical level. There's a progress at mental level, okay, or psychic, and that's why we have the progress at psychic level. Somehow induce human beings to do a lot of research, okay, to educate themselves. You know, we have a very good education system. Okay, we have a advanced medical treatment. Okay, medical science, and all these things is to improve our life, to improve the quality of life. But human progress does not stop there. The rishis of yore, okay, the great rishis, the gurus and all, they say our progress is not because they say, but they reveal to us, okay, by their grace, they reveal to us that we also have to fulfill dharma. Somewhere along your evolution, okay, even in this life or in some life, this awakening called dharma will happen in a living being. So this awakening will make you question everything about yourself, make you question about your very existence. Questions such as, who am I? What am I doing here? What happens before birth and what happens after my death? Okay, this kind of question is dharma. And this dharma will lead you to seek way to understand, to find answers. Okay, so this kind of answers you cannot find in textbook, in normal textbook. Okay, knowledge there are two classes of knowledge according to the tradition of Sanatana Dharma. The knowledge has been defined one category as paravidya, or spiritual knowledge, or which covers the subjective side of life, and aparavidya, which covers the objective side of life. Okay, physics, geography, math. Okay, all this belongs to the world. So this is aparavidya, and somehow because we neglected this purushartha. Okay, this purushartha, I mean, during the period of Mahabharata and post Mahabharata, in the society, the education system will cover purushartha. Unfortunately, in the modern era, even in the land of Bharat, okay, the modern India now, they have neglected this. Okay, somehow the education with regarding dharma and moksha, the subjective side, you're pushed to some ashrams, okay, I mean monasteries and so on. So, and people are going there. Okay, even people from advanced nations, that means advanced in terms of material advancement, like America, okay, the Europeans, they're going to India because they find that their life is empty. Okay, despite making so much of progress, you'll see that in Scandinavian countries, they have made so much of progress and there are a lot of welfare benefits in their country, yet they have a very high suicide rate. Okay, that is very intriguing. Okay, so this is actually because of the imbalance in human development. Okay, therefore, dharma is essential, and the purpose of these classes is actually to explore, okay, the concept of dharma and to make you understand. But you yourself have to look into that. And dharma eventually will lead you towards moksha or enlightenment. Okay. So again, this is another reminder that that the Supreme Being or the universal consciousness plays various roles, okay, to guide us. Okay, and one of the role is the role of universal guru, and this universal guru will always will approach us through various mediums. Okay, and one of the medium is through spiritually elevated persons. Okay, so they come to you as acharya, okay, gurus, Adam Guru, Madhyam Guru, Uttam Guru, Sadguru, Paramesti Guru, and so on. And if you really, if you have awakened your urge for spiritual enlightenment, so these mediums will reach you. I mean, they will reach you. Okay, now let us look at the look at some of these slokas. Huh? See, last week we cover, just to recap, in the first chapter, after the second sloka, so there will be dialogue between Duryodhana and his teacher. Then after that, the 10th sloka onwards, it's a dialogue between Lord Krishna. I mean, it is Arjuna's way of expressing his disappointment, okay, and despondencies. And later he will surrender to Lord Krishna, saying that he is really unsure. So as written here, I can find no means to drive away this grief which is drying up my senses. I will not be able to dispel it even if I win a prosperous, unrivaled kingdom on earth with sovereignty like the demigods in heaven. Okay, and having spoken thus, Arjuna told Krishna, Govinda, I shall not fight, and fell silent. Okay, again to recap, so why this happened? Because they are in a battlefield. Okay, in the battlefield where to determine who's going to be the king of Hastinapur. Actually, this is between cousins, and as a result of that, there are supporters of one faction, the faction of Kauravas, another one, the faction of Pandavas, okay, to which Arjuna belongs. And Arjuna hesitates, okay, to wage the war at the 11th hour, because he's disturbed because seeing his teachers, his elders on the other side. Okay. So after seeing Arjuna in this condition, Lord Krishna will speak. Okay, the sloka. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Asocyan Anvasochastvang Pragyavadamscha Basase Gatasun Agathasumscha Nanusuchanti Panditha. So it says, Sri Bhagavan said to Arjuna, okay, you grieve for those who should not be grieved for, and yet you speak words of wisdom. The wise grieve neither for the living nor for the dead. Okay, this is his preamble. Okay, a little commentary on this sloka. See, in the opening, so Lord Krishna is addressed as Bhagavan. Okay, who is Bhagavan here? In the previous classes, I have mentioned that that there are various classes of being. The living being evolve from ordinary state of jiva to the state of Ishvara Koti, from the state of Jiva Koti to the state of Ishvara Koti and Brahma Koti. So Jiva, they don't take just a single birth, because the very purpose of living being taking birth is to evolve. Okay, the very concept of Purushartha, or the principle of Purushartha, is actually to educate living being, especially after becoming a human, to evolve from a lower state to the highest state. So this Jiva from the ordinary state as Jiva Koti, ordinary human being, will become Ishvara Koti as a result of spiritual practices, okay, like meditation, yoga, and so on, and will elevate himself or herself to the state of Ishvara Koti. So Ishvara means controller. So being a controller is one attribution of the Supreme Being, or the universal consciousness of Brahma, also known as Brahman. And so any living being who expands his awareness, okay, and coming coming close to the level of Ishvara, so it will become Ishvara Koti. So there are 16 Shaktis or Kala, and possessing just one of it, 1 over 16, and okay, a person becomes a Kalavatar. Okay, and if someone has a few of it, let's say 5 or 4 or 6, this is Amsavatar. And suppose a person develop himself or self and possess at least 8 Kala and above, this person is known as Khandavatar. And suppose a person goes above that and reach 16 over 16, that person becomes a Brahmakoti. So in the progress as this Ishvara Koti, so many living beings attain the state of Bhagavan. So what is Bhagavan? Bhagavan means someone who possesses the 6 Bhaga. Okay, that means Bhagavan has to be an embodied person. Okay, so your Bhagavan is not a dead person. Bhagavan has to be present on earth. So Bhagavan has certain qualities by which you can recognize that person. The first quality of Bhagavan is Pratap. Pratap means commanding power or the power of authority. That means a Bhagavan is a leader. Okay, that means he is spiritually very evolved and he can command following. Second, Bhagavan possesses fame or Yasha. Yasha means fame, but this is not ordinary fame. This also means that there's one class of people will adore him, another class of people will hate him. So during, like in Mahabharata, you see like there's one side, the Pandava side. Okay, that is the side which actually adore Krishna. So the other side, okay, even though we have some characters like Bhishma, which actually adore what you call Krishna, yet the majority in the Kaurava side, they don't like Krishna. Okay, and so Bhagavan can create this kind of situation. Jasha. Then Aishwarya. Aishwarya means what do you call that? Siddhis. There are 8 siddhis: Anima, Lagima, Garima, and so on. Okay, which yogis, I mean, those who attain siddhi in yoga, accomplishment in yoga, so they develop siddhi. But Bhagavan possesses all the 8 siddhis and more. And next is Sri. Sri means he who attracts everybody. Even the very name Krishna means he attracts everybody. Then Jnana. Okay, so Jnana is a person of a very embodiment of knowledge. He knows everything. And the last Bhaga is Vairagya. Okay, I mean, despite possessing all this, he'll be a very detached person. So he doesn't care whether somebody praise him or somebody criticize him. Okay, we have many Bhagavans. I mean, like even there are many levels of Bhagavan. Okay, so as I mentioned, someone who reached the state of Ishvara Koti, they will by developing certain percentage of this Bhaga, these 6 Bhagas, they will be called Bhagavans. Even in our present era. So Ramana Maharishi used to be called Bhagavan. So you can analyze whether he has all 6. Even Ramakrishna used to be addressed as Bhagavan. After the time of Krishna, so Lord Buddha also used to be addressed as Bhagavan. And Shankaracharya used to be addressed as Bhagavan. Okay. So according to their role in this world, so they have a certain percentage of these bhagas. Okay. So hence, this is a brief explanation about this word Bhagavan. Okay. Now, in this sloka, Lord Krishna raised the concern of Arjuna. So Arjuna, basically, he is disturbed because because of his attachment towards his teacher, towards his grandfather, and so on. And also, as I mentioned last week, that fear, despite being a very skillful archer, anybody in that battlefield will feel the fear. And also, the Arjuna have this problem, like every other human being, brooding over the past and worrying about the future. So Arjuna is very disturbed also because of the possible outcome of the war. Just like a student who's going to sit for the exam. Okay, while preparing for the exam, he begin to worry about the outcome. So how am I going to? He hasn't seen the question paper. Okay, hasn't entered the examination hall yet. He begin to ponder. So what kind of question will come, and will I be able to answer properly, and what will be my grade? Okay, it is foolish. Right? It's really absurd to really worry about something which hasn't take place yet. So this is the condition of Arjuna as well. So why Krishna said that the wise, that the wise, in that sloka, the wise grieve neither for the living nor for the dead, because a wise man here. So the word used in Sanskrit is pandita, means you are speaking like a pandit. So pandit comes from the word panda, means someone who possesses spiritual knowledge. It's not just ordinary gyan. Gyan times is people tend to refer to intellectual knowledge. So here it's not only intellectual capacity, it's also intuitional capacity. So because the way Arjuna speaks, if you read all the slokas, it's as though he's concerned about universal well-being, but actually he's concerned about his worries only. So, Lord Krishna's point is that an individual should fulfill his duty according to the time, place, and person. Okay, suppose a person is in a house, he is a father. Okay, and let's say that person is a police officer. The moment he goes to the police station and start to do his work, so he has to play the role of police officer. So he cannot be thinking about his home at that moment. Or a doctor. So the moment a doctor walks into his clinic, so he has to deal with his patient. So in this battlefield, Arjuna is a warrior. So anybody in the other side, is your enemy. So this is how dharma, the concept dharma is being dictated this way. I mean, the concept of dharma says that you have to play your role according to the role given to you. Okay, in the place. It means time, place, and person. It means like a doctor comes back, when he comes back home, he cannot behave like a doctor to his family, or even a police. He cannot behave like a policeman at home. He has to wear a different hat. So Lord Krishna said, lamenting over the possible outcome of the wars, not to be wise. The wise will live in present. That's a key word. You have to live in present. Okay, and you fulfill your purushartha, you will learn this. Okay, but another important thing is here, which need to be highlighted is. So we have been talking about this in the last few weeks. So dharma is not just about studying about dharma intellectually, understanding dharma. Dharma means you have to practice. Okay, so how to practice dharma, I will explain in the subsequent. After the subsequent slides. Okay. And one point, death. So he said, you should not be bothered about death. So death is an interesting word because everybody is concerned about death. So now in our life, so death will be some kind of news if it happens to somebody not related to you. Okay, like you'll see in the newspaper, you'll see in the news, and suppose that news somebody in your inner circle, that means that come closer. It happens to, if it happens more closer, like amongst your relative, it become even closer until it approach someone very close to you, very close family member. With each advancement, so death is nearing you, but nobody prepares for the death. Death is feared, and people will always try to postpone death. So you'll always think that by medical treatment and all that, they can postpone death or be immortal. So nobody is immortal. In the path of dharma, you need to understand death. Okay, how to understand that? So you will see in the subsequent sloka. So in the slok chapter, the same chapter, sloka 12 and 13. Okay, na tveveham jatu nasam na tvam neme janadipa na chaivana bhavishyama sarve vayam atha param dehinosmin jata dehe kaumaram yavanam chara tata dehantara praptir dhiras tatra na mukhyati. Okay, which translate, It is not that I did not exist before. No, you know these kings. Nor is it that we shall cease to exist in future. Just as in this body, the embodied self passes into childhood, youth, and old age, so also does he, the indweller, pass into another body. The calm man does not grieve at it. So in the 12th sloka, he said, if death is what you're worrying about, so he's telling that all of us. So here he's referring to everybody. Myself, you, the other kings, all the warriors. Okay, when he meant king, he's referring to all the warriors present in the battlefield. He said none of them is going to cease to exist. Never in the past, never in the future. And that is okay. One important principle. It's talking about the life, the life principle in us, or the Atman. So this Atman is Nitya. Okay, it is Nitya, that means it's permanent. It's eternal. It is Sanatana. That's why the Dharma, your Dharma is Sanatana, because you being an entity which is Sanatan, so your Dharma is Sanatana Dharma. Okay, always remember this. And then in the subsequent sloka, he said that life principle, it remains in the even your body undergoes change, from childhood to youth and to old age. It remains the same, and even when you pass to another body, that means you die in one body, then you go to another body. Because someone who has the wisdom is the calm man referred here. Okay, it doesn't grieve at it. Okay, I mean, who's the calm man? Is the sadhaka, who's a spiritualist, someone who pursues dharma as early as possible in his or her life. So in the second sloka, the principle of reincarnation, or the science of reincarnation, is being revealed here. So why, the question is, so how the indweller goes to another body and why? And before he came to this body, so what happened? So what is death actually? So the death that we are seeing around us and which will happen to us eventually is the death of physical body. Okay, remember this, it's only death of physical body. What is the real death you will see? So this is the journey of Jiiva, just an illustration. So you see that someone getting old, in the middle age, getting old and die. Okay, so then begin another cycle. Okay, so you'll enter the womb. Okay, be born again, grow up. Okay, this cycle continues. In fact, in subsequent slokas, Lord Krishna would say that which dies will be reborn, and that which is born will die again. Very poetically. So now, and the journey doesn't stop there. So the journey, you can evolve to higher form. You can also go back to lower form. Okay. So according to Sanatana Dharma, according to the law of karma, based on the theory of karma, you have taken millions of birth. So there are the Shastra said, okay, there are 8.4 million life forms. Okay, that means there's a lot of wombs. Okay, and we have taken all such forms and reached the state of human being. Okay, it's a commentary, a brief commentary for the 12th and 13th sloka. That the nature of Atman is Sanatana. Okay, it's the core principle in every living being. It is changeless and follows the Jiva. Okay, it's very important here. So why it follows the Jiva, and who's Jiva? Okay, you have to. I'm pointing you to. All the keywords here. Then the sloka also explains about how the Jiva transmigrate from body to body. Okay, so this is a bit, how to say, something a bit complex, okay? But still you have to understand this. What are you? Okay, that's what we are seeing here. So the three terms here: Jiva, Jiivatma. Okay, Paramatma you can understand. So there is, from the very beginning said the supreme being is known as Brahma or Brahman. Brahman, they coined this from this root word Brihat. Okay, Brihat means vast or infinite, beginningless and endless. So Brihatvat Brahma. Okay, so that means the rishis, okay, after pondering over this, after discussing with the fellow rishis, they coined the word Brahma. And Brahma is everything. Okay, everything in this universe that you see is Brahma. Okay, your body, the house you live in, your table, your chair, your pet, everything is Brahma. Your computer, everything is Brahma. Okay, but that Brahma has a witnessing consciousness, like a nucleus. It's like you see in an atom. Okay, so there's a nucleus, then there's an electron. Okay, circumlating it. So the Earth also is such a system. So you have the Earth and you have the moon orbiting it, and then there is the sun, and all the planets are orbiting the sun. And the sun itself is orbiting a center. So according to my guru, this Paramapurusha, Supreme Being, Brahman, his nucleus is sitting at a nucleus, one nucleus point. And every living being has a radius with this. So this living being is the Jiivatma, okay, or individual soul, okay, for your understanding. So let use the word unit soul. And Paramatma. So Paramatma is the nucleus. Okay. Why is Parama Atma? Because he witnesses everyone. For example, you see a mango. So your eyes is seeing the mango. So the mango, so anything which is witnessed is known as apara. Okay. So apara, so the eye is para. The eye is witnessing the mango. Then you have, but can the eye see the mango without the help of the mind? Okay, the mind interprets the mango. So here, the indriya in this context, which is the eye, it is the apara, and the mango, the mind is para. But can the mind see the, what do you call, that's the mind has a capacity on its own to interpret or to see the mango? No, it needs the soul. The soul is like the electricity, the source. So there the Jiivatman is the para and the mind is apara. And does the Jiivatman could do this on its own? No. The source of its power came from Paramatma. And because Paramatma is seeing all this, witnessing all this, he is the Paramatma. Okay? So just try to understand this concept. Okay? So Jiva, so in your body, so for you to understand, you have to observe and think. Okay? In this lesson, you have to do a lot of thinking. So you have a physical body. Okay, you are aware of your physical body. Okay, it is there. Okay, definitely you will be aware because it makes you hungry. The physical body signals you. Okay, every 3 or 4 hours that there's hunger, so you look for food. So when the physical body is tired, it it want to rest, want to sleep. Okay? So physical body will crave for many things and you will fulfill it. So you are aware of your physical body. Okay. So this physical body is one aspect of the Jiva consciousness, which we can see on the right hand side here. Okay? So this Jiva is not just a body, it also has a mind. Okay. The subjective aspect of its consciousness, and this Jiva is a component of your individuality. Okay, just understand it that way. Jiva and Jiivatma both are the component of your individuality, and this individual depends on the Paramatma, which is the source. Okay, so here I would like to quote another sloka from Bhagavad Giita itself, from the chapter 10, sloka 8. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matha sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. Okay, which translates, I am the origin of all creation. Everything proceeds from me. The wise who know this perfectly worship me with great faith and devotion. Okay, so the key point here you have to understand, I am the origin of all creation. Okay, so everything, Brahma has become everything. Okay, and you are part of it. Okay, and you have that consciousness in you. Okay, to explain the concept of Paramatma and Jiivatma, so there is a beautiful story in the Upanishads. Okay, this story also appeared, and I've noticed appeared in 3 different Upanishads. The same story. So this is here they quote Mundaka Upanishad. It also appeared in the Mandukya Upanishad and also the Svetasvatara Upanishad. Okay, 2 identical birds that are eternal companions perch in the very same tree. One eats many fruits of various tastes. The other only witnesses without eating. Okay, the keyword is witnesses. Okay, see this in the story, it goes like this, that there is one bird. Okay, there's one bird which is above the other bird, and there's another bird, this bird busy eating the fruit. Sometimes the fruit is sweet and the bird is happy. Another day the fruit is bitter or sour. So according to the taste of the fruit, the bird become either happy or unhappy. But frequently the bird will look upon the other bird, which never eats anything. It just witnesses and become curious why the other bird is not eating and unperturbed and always seems to be happy, while I am happy one day and unhappy another day. But again, it continued to eat. But then one day it become determined. I shall go to that bird and ask, what is the secret of your secret of being calm and happy always, although you never eat the fruits. And in the original story, the tree is a huge, it's a very huge tree, and the other bird is at top in a different branch, and that's why the other bird could not reach it easily. But it began, in its journey to what they call to reach the other bird, first it start to climb one branch, another branch, stop, eat, and then eventually it also stopped eating and determined to reach the other bird. When it reached the top, the story goes like this, that this bird didn't see any other bird there. It so happened, it seems that this bird, okay, which used to eat that fruit, is actually is a reflection of that original bird. So the original bird is Paramatma, and the fruit eating bird is Jiivatma. Okay. Now, look at this diagram here. So just now we discussed about this composition of Jiva. Okay, Jiva means yourself, you, the individual. Okay, so you have this Atman, the Jiivatman, as your witnessing consciousness. This is a source. Okay, this Jiivatman is like your TNB source. The Paramatman is like TNB, the main TNB, and this Jiivatman is the connection to your house. Okay. But this jiva has three components. So one is Mahat, or the awareness of I am. Okay. The other one is known as Aham, or the awareness of ego, or I do. And the third one is Chitta, or the awareness of done I. So how to explain this? In every living being, human being, talking about human being, the Mahat is just like the first light that appears. Ramana Maharishi, the great saint of Arunachal, used to say that of all thought, okay, the very first thought is I. That is the mother. Without this I, okay, he used the word thought. I is an awareness. Without this I, you don't exist. Okay, and you cease to exist only when you destroy this I. And this original I has taken the form of Aham, or the ego, that you are the doer of all action around you. Okay, and Chitta is the objectivated mind. Okay, the mind which performed, which took inferences from the external world and become identified with that action. Okay, so to explain this, I'll give you a simple example. Okay, you see, many of you might like, could be a coffee drinker. So when you drink coffee, so let's say you start to drink coffee for the first time. So somebody introduced you coffee. So you drink the coffee. So when you drink coffee, you are aware that you are drinking the coffee. So I drink coffee. So I do, the aham. So the coffee that you drink, okay, that means coffee has taste, okay. Coffee has smell and color. Okay, the aroma and color, and also now there's a brand also, like there's Nescafe, there's cappuccino. Okay. So that means you identify coffee in many ways. And this idea of coffee, the brand, the taste, the color, everything goes to you. That means through how many senses were involved there? Okay, the tongue is involved, your nose is involved, your eye is involved there, even your mind. Okay, because of the idea of the brand. So these are information. Okay, so each action you take information. We call that inference, or tanmatra in Sanskrit. So this will be programmed in your chitta. So chitta is the portion of mind which takes all this information. Okay, so this coffee experience, the first day experience, will go to the chitta, and the next day, because you like this coffee so much, you start to crave for it. So then the journey of drinking coffee will begin. So one coffee become 2, 3, and every day, and you start to drink a lot of coffee until you identify yourself with coffee and maybe with particular brand, Starbucks, you and Starbucks. So until you don't know whether you are the coffee, you are the drinker of the coffee, or you have become the coffee. Okay, this is the state of done I. Means you don't do just one single action, you do plenty of action, right? So you eat food, you drink coffee, you talk to somebody emotionally, you attach yourself with somebody, you identify yourself with your job. Okay, so many things, so many ideas, senses. The information comes through senses and also through your mind, and all this will be programmed in the chitta. So this chitta, with this countless information, becomes you. That's where your consciousness stuck at the state of chitta, and you don't realize much about this I do and I awareness, but you faintly remember. Okay, and that makes you very difficult to understand, to know Atman, which is your source. Okay, so if you don't understand this, you can ask me later. Okay, so I am giving you in brief to make you understand, because whenever we talk about the concept of Atman, When we say you are the Atman, so the one question that keep coming to your mind is that I never realized that I'm Atman. Who is this Atman? You don't know. Okay? Because Atman is a very subtle consciousness, very, very subtle. Okay. Unless you make your mind subtle, you can never feel it. Okay. So now I'm going to operate this portion, this chitta. I want to show you the component of this chitta. So at the very bottom here in this diagram, you'll see it's written here, Annamaya Kosha. Okay, Annamaya Kosha means body, okay, the physical body, okay. It's very straightforward, you can understand. So why is Annamaya? Anna means food, because it's made of food. Then there are 5 layers. So this chitta, the chitta has 5 layers. I mean, even to understand the chitta, it has 5 layers, you must understand. So these 5 chitta, layers of chitta is 5 different layers of consciousness. Okay, so my guru in Ananda Sutram, okay, the treatise on Tantra, okay, he wrote a treatise called Ananda Sutram. So he said, Panchakosatmika Jaivisatta Kadali Puspavat, okay, which translate the chitta of the jiva, okay, has 5 layers, just like the plantain flower. So, or even you can use this onion as an example. It has many layers. So now again, to make you understand this better, so you have a physical body, so we have discussed earlier. So the body gives you various signals based on the needs of the body, so you are aware. But what makes this body to operate? Okay, the body is not intelligent by itself. The intelligence of the body consciousness is controlled by the layer of mind which is known as Kamamaya Kosa or conscious mind. Okay, this mind is related to instinct. Okay, instinct happens without thinking. Okay, your urge for food, your urge to sleep, the urge to defend yourself, the urge for sex, all happens automatically. Okay, the hormones in the body, everything controls it. So this the portion of mind which controls these activities called Kamamaya Kosa in the yogic shastra, yogic text. Then next to it is Manomaya Kosa. So this is known as the subconscious mind in your Western psychology. This is the mind or the layer of mind which do the thinking, memorizing, problem solving. So you use this a lot. Okay. So how you become educated, okay, how you learn ABC, how you learn geography, math, physics, all is through Manomaya Kosa or your subconscious mind. Okay, and this subconscious mind is more developed in human being and very not so developed in animals. And even dream happen in subconscious. Okay, and most of us, 90%, 95, maybe 96%, they operate themselves. They with these 2 layers only. Okay, in the body. And above this, these 3 is actually collectively we can call unconscious. That's the language of psychology. In Yoga Shastra, we call these 3 collectively as the causal mind. Okay, why causal? Because that causes you to take rebirth. Okay, it means when you die, when the physical body dies, so your Annamaya Kosa disintegrates, either you cremate it or you bury it. Okay, so the moment the body ceases to exist, Kamamaya Kosa will not function. When Kamamaya Kosa does not function, Manomaya Kosa also will cease to function. And automatically everything will contract itself and merge with this. So next, this first layer of this causal mind or unconscious mind is Atimanasa. So this is the kosha where your samskara or reaction in potential is stored. Okay, so talking about rebirth. So after the death of physical body, the body dies, but all your unfulfilled desires, okay, will remain in the form of thoughts, and this is called samskara. It will be stored in the unconscious, and that is like a momentum. You study in physics, that is a momentum. So my guru coined the word reactive momentum from Latin. Okay, I mean, created a word in English, okay, using Latin. So that is called reactive momenta. That means it's a momentum which actually collectively is momenta will seek another body. Okay, until you exhaust all the momenta, you will keep on taking rebirth. Okay, so Atimanasa Kosa is where your program, your they call samskara. Okay, you always mistakenly call it karma. It's not karma. Karma is original action. Okay, you throw a ball, okay, to the wall and bounce back comes to you. The act of throwing, the first act of throwing is karma. The ball is bounced back is samskara, okay, or karma bala. So then after Atimanasa, there's Vijnana Kosa. So Vijnana Kosa is actually is a deeper and higher layer of mind. After you activate that, you'll become like a Buddha. Okay, you'll become a saint, because here you become detached from many things. It means you become very close to your Atman awareness. Okay, all these highest. I will touch only briefly. Okay, I think for you even to understand this is more important. Okay, what we can say is all these higher layers, it brings you close to the awareness of Atman. Okay. In fact, the yoga practices, the asana covers the Annamaya Kosa, Yama and Niyama, the yogic ethics, it covers Kamamaya Kosa, the science of pranayam, okay, it covers Manomaya, and the science of Pratyahara, okay, in the Ashtanga Yoga is for Atimanasa Kosa, to develop Atimanasa, and Dharana, the practice of Dharana is for Vijnanamaya Kosa, and the meditation, the seventh what you call limb of yoga is for Hiranmaya Kosa. You see, meditation is at the seventh step. Okay, and many people say, I'm doing meditation. So you're not doing meditation. You try to concentrate, try to focus, you try to withdraw your consciousness. Okay, so basically, this is basically what is Chitta is all about. Okay, so again, you can come back here later if you don't understand. I think maybe I have to repeat this whole lesson in another session, because it takes time to really understand this, but it is very important. Okay, you cannot just ignore it. It's very important, because if you want to understand Atman, you need to understand what is your basic constitution. Okay, so this is just a brief illustration. Means there is this world, okay, the world around you and the objects, okay, and your body and the five senses collects information from it, and this falls on the chitta and being witnessed by your aham and mahat, and jiva, the jivatma witnesses everything. So this is basically you and the world around you. And the Sankhya philosophy will group everything into 24 tattvas or 24 principles. That means your entire experience is based on 24 principles. Okay. Now, sloka 14 and 15. Okay, this sloka, so basically, so Lord Krishna will say the context of the senses with objects. Okay, in a tone to pacify Arjuna, I will say the contact of the senses with objects which cause heat and cold, pleasure and pain, have a beginning and an end. They are impermanent. Endure them bravely, O descendant of Bharata. Okay, that calm man who remains unchanged in pain and pleasure, whom this cannot disturb alone, is able, or greatest amongst men, to attain immortality. So it's basically, actually, this is another part of this chapter which is important, but it's already covered in this. It says that whatever experience, okay, the moment you are in this world, you are embodied, you become a jiva, you will be subject to this dual experience of pain and pleasure, heat and cold, and so on. Okay, everything. We have night and, okay, there's duality, there's woman and man, okay, night and day, okay, pain and pleasure, okay, and so on and so forth. It's there. It's part and parcel of life, and you need to develop, you become wise to endure them briefly. Okay. And in the subsequent sloka, I said, so only when you learn to rise above this pain and pleasure, then only you will become fit to attain immortality or enlightenment. Okay, as I showed you in the earlier diagram, only when you reach the fourth layer, Vijnanamaya Kosa, you can actually be steady. Okay, All right. So now let us see the conclusion. So basically the slokas covered here. Okay. The principle, in today's class, what we covered. So a living being or jiva need to develop wisdom to face the challenges of life. Okay. In your life. Okay. To face your own Kurukshetra. So the Atman in you is the truth and changeless, while the Jiva undergoes change and take many lives. Okay. Each time it's the Jiva who takes rebirth and your JIIVATMA just follows it. Okay. And JIIVATMA, because constantly witnessing. See why JIIVATMA become trapped? Why you become trapped? Okay. It's because you are trapped with the Jiva consciousness. And when you do this meditation and all that, you actually suspend your Jiva. It's just like switching it off. The moment you switch it off, you'll realize your Atman awareness. As simple as that. As simple as that as saying, but you need to work very hard to attain that state. Okay. And a jiva is taking birth repeatedly to fulfill its samskara. Means you carry, you bring a lot of programmer. Okay. You generate a lot of thoughts, a lot of desires, and this remain as reactive momenta, and it will find fulfillment. Okay. So that's why you need this fulfillment comes in the form of purushartha. So mostly your purushartha is where in kama and artha. So by repeatedly, so this very process of repeatedly taking birth, okay, the jiva is actually evolving naturally, and this natural evolution is called karma yoga. Okay, this is karma yoga. So knowingly or unknowingly, you are doing karma yoga, but just that your awareness is not very much subtle, it's not very much inside. So in order to bring that awareness, to enjoy your journey of karma yoga, so you have to you have to pursue jnana yoga or jnana yoga. So jiva should strive to understand its own nature and evolve consciously. Your own nature and the nature of the world and the nature of Supreme Being. So this process of studying this and understanding this is jnana yoga. Then after jiva exhausts its samskara, all the karma pala, and yearn intensely. So only when you offload, suppose you are running from one place to one place, or you try to walk. And if you carry a lot of load, can you move fast? Definitely you can't. So, but if you offload some of your, the loads, you can move faster. So similarly, if you carry a lot of samskara, okay, from your karma, your movement towards Paramatma will be obstructed. So through the process of karma yoga and jnana yoga, you lessen the burden, and your your love or devotion to Paramapurusha, Paramatma will increase, and you become intensely attracted to the source, because that is your source. Nobody can teach you to get attracted. It happens naturally. And this process is bhakti yoga. This is the real bhakti. Doing rituals is not bhakti. Okay, the rituals that you do, worshipping a form, all this is not bhakti. Bhakti is a state of natural, intense attraction towards Supreme Being. Okay, so with that, I conclude the lesson of this week. Okay, thank you for listening. Namaskar, and I would I welcome questions or discussion.
So I have a question.
Please.
I think I'm going to ask you a silly question. Please don't scold me. But what happens to all the souls that like continue to exist, like all the ghosts and the spirits and all of that? I know some people say there's no such thing, but obviously there is, right? There's they're still living around us, or I don't know what it is. So does that mean that the jiva has not consciously kind of let go and moved on to what they are meant to do, like go on to look for another body? Like, what's happening with them?
Okay. Thanks for this. It's not a silly question. It's a very important question. See, so this is the research in Dharma. Okay, so see, jiva. See, there's a natural mechanism here. Okay, when a jiva exhausts the samskara, so what happens is, like you see, if you look at this diagram again, So the physical body, upon death, there's a disintegration. So the body dies, you see. So then the jiva has no body to express itself. It also cannot express itself in this because the conscious mind, because conscious mind needs a physical body to express itself. So this portion of mind will contract and merge with the subconscious mind. Again, without the existence of Kamamaya Kosa, it's like Manomaya Kosa, the subconscious mind become jobless again. So it will also contract and merge with the causal mind. But this portion of the mind will not die. So the jiva remains with only these three layers. Okay, this point number one. And with the remaining samskara. So what happens upon death? So according to my guru, in two conditions, there are three conditions where the mind disassociates from the body. So here is natural death. The mind is disassociated from the body. So the samskara which is there, so you easily, so samskara means it has in three conditions. So one is called prarabdha. Prarabdha is a samskara given for a particular life. Suppose a person lives in this life, his lifespan, let's say 80. So after he finished 80, upon completion of that age, so the body dies. Okay, because that is like the samskara is the fuel to continue life for 80 years. So the this unconscious mind withdraws. So, but you will easily have samskara for another 10 life. Okay, so there's a mechanism to create another body. So it will begin the process, and then the jiva start to look for the potential parents and so on. If the potential parent is not there, it has to wait. So this waiting period is just waiting in the they call pitruloka. Okay, so they are there. They are like in a dreaming state, you know. So people who could look at them, they'll be like, this some kind of glittering stars, you know, for those who could look at them, you know. So if you want to contact them, you have to use the portion of your own mind to bring them alive. Okay, otherwise they will remain undisturbed. The other one is who dies, like I use that 80 years lifespan again. Suppose the person abused himself, like maybe he has some sickness, he didn't take proper medication, and didn't live proper lifestyle, no exercise, and he dies earlier, 70. For the 10 years he has to roam around in his subtle body. Okay, that means somehow, but again it depends the spiritual evolution of that person. If the person is not very spiritually evolved, he can't see other people. He's just like an illiterate person in this world. Okay, a person who's more spiritually evolved, they can see their family members and so on. And someone who has more spiritual shakti, they can even help. Okay, but anyway, I don't want to go into that. And the other category is someone who can ghost. Maybe if we use that word, those who die of accident, sudden death, also without finishing the lifespan. Okay, and there are many reasons for that. And their energy body is very strong. That means the physical body disintegrates, and sometimes they're not even aware that they have died. Okay, for the first few days or something, and they will remain at the site of death. Okay, this is another category. Those who died of suicide and terrible accident and so on. Okay, definitely there is, like according to the evolution. Okay, to give a very simple answer, according to the evolution of the jiva, it will remain at the intermediary state before taking rebirth. And those who die unnatural death will be trapped in this world in some form. Okay, but most of them will be, they will be prepared to take rebirth in another life form according to their samskara. Okay, according to the samskara, sometimes, and because based on the complexity of samskara, they have to wait. Depends, sometimes 6 months, sometimes 1 year, sometimes 5 years, sometimes 10 years. It depends. So normally when the immediate future birth is ready, they will get very sick in this life. Okay, That's why sometimes, because we don't understand this, we will be grieving a lot after death of someone very close. I know it's very difficult. Yeah, I also went through these experiences. But if we can understand a person who's completed a journey in this life, they are preparing to go to another life to continue their evolution. So if we can understand that, so this is part of dharma, we won't grieve for the dead. Okay, that means we will actually feel happy for them that they have moved on. Okay, so most of the time, the people who's bereaving, they are not moving on. Okay, so Ms. Tolesi, did I answer your question? So do you need further clarification?
Yeah, I think you did. But I have a couple more, but it's okay.
No, you can ask, no problem. I think we have time, no problem.
Yeah, so then I'm thinking, okay, so the ones who are moving on and waiting for rebirth and stuff, is there like somebody who kind of meets them and tells them this is what's going to happen to you, or you at the level where you are in terms of your subconscious mind and all of that, like you would naturally know what to do?
Okay, there's no single answer for that, but basically there is a cosmic, you see, this is the manifested universe. Okay, in this manifested universe, Brahma has taken the form of Saguna Brahma. Okay, so Brahma in his another form is known as Nirguna Brahma. So Saguna Brahma, he is connected with all living beings. Okay, and this connection is called Prata Yoga. Okay, as a nucleus, he sees you, everybody. And we also have a connection called Otta Yoga. So Otta Yoga means individual connection. Okay, it's like a personal phone. So Saguna Brahma, okay, or Purushottama. So like in one sloka, my guru explains, Paramashiva Purushottama Vishvesha Kendram. Okay, Kendra means nucleus. So Purushottama, that supreme being. So Saguna Brahma, in the role as Purushottama, he witnesses and watch over everyone. So he makes the arrangement for your rebirth, but he also works through agents. Okay, so these agents are elevated beings. Okay, the Siddhas, the Siddha Purush. Okay, so everyone, they have their guides in the afterlife. So that guide will lead them. Okay, and it's like if you have earned enough punya, so always these guides will be guiding you, unless you have lived a very sinful life, doing a lot of harm to other people. So these people will be guided, but it's just that they'll be trapped in certain disturbed condition for some time, but eventually they also will be relieved. Okay, I give an example. So when my Guru Deva, those days in India, he used to visit, he used to do a lot of research, and sometimes he will stay in some government guest houses, which was built by British those days. And at one time he happened to leave, he stayed overnight at one particular bungalow, and there was one soul of an Indian Sipai who worked for the British. Okay, so he worked for the British and he tortured a lot of Indians. He tortured his own people. And a lot of people started to curse him, and eventually he couldn't take it and he committed suicide. And when my Guru Deva was sleeping there, so this soul came and started to talk to him, said, and it's like, I have no one to talk to, and I know I've done a lot of bad things, but now I'm so lonely, I don't know what to do, I don't know where to go. Then my Guru Deva said, okay, so what do you want me to do for you? So he said, at least everybody is cursing me, nobody have said that I should, that my soul should rest in peace. So my Guru blessed him. He said, so be it. So if he asked the right thing, okay, so even this kind of thing happened many times. I've read in many other sources, many other gurus, even while living in this world, So there are even living guru or gurus at other dimension. They always guide souls to be released from, even if they're trapped in certain condition, they'll be released to move on. Okay, because ultimately, even someone has become a sinner, but still they are the child of the Supreme Being. The Supreme Being will not neglect any single person in this world. Okay, and we, being an intelligent person, intelligent human being, we should learn about Dharma as soon as possible in life and always pursue the path of Dharma. so that our journey will be smooth. Okay. So any other question?
No, thank you so much.
Okay,
Thank
you're
you, sir.
welcome.
Prabhu, you didn't finish the story.
Which story is that?
Just now you say your Guruji met a soul, and then what happened? What
No,
happened to the
that
soul?
no, that the story. I said my Guru Deva, when he was, it happened during his time. So he blessed the soul, and that soul was released, for the rebirth. That was the story.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Any other question? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Padma,
Yes,
thank you
Velu.
for the lovely discourse today. It was really good. You threw at us a lot of technical stuff. So I wrote down as much as I could, the Jiva Kotis, and the 3 Kotis, the 5 kosas and all that. And I particularly like the part where you talk about Dharma and the balance between the Karma Bala. So one side is Dharma, the other side Karma Bala, and how we should balance this too as we go through. I've got a question about Dharma itself.
Okay.
And the evolution of us as Jivas, because you said that there was, I think the number you used was 8.7 million birds, or
8.4
different life forms that we can take. And logically, I am thinking that my first birth and all, I would have been a lesser form, like a bacteria, an insect and all that. And so the question is, has Dharma existed in the 4 yugas? Because we are in the Kali Yuga, the age of darkness.
Okay.
So if it was in the first itself, like Satya Yuga and the Taitra Yuga, then moving on. In Satya Yuga, most likely I would have been an insect, the first life forms. And then I'm moving on millions of births later, and this is human form in an age of darkness, where I've got a real big bridge to climb, or a big mountain to climb, bridge to cross, mountain to climb. So now I think it is kind of challenging to become a human being at this form. At such a time where it is, for example, you also mentioned about cop, right? Who, his day job is police, then he goes back home, then he puts off his thing, then he becomes a husband and a father.
Yeah.
But now using the cop as the thing, in such an age, Kali Yuga, being a cop, we all know how it is, right? It is very difficult to follow the righteous
Dharma.
path. Yes.
Okay.
Because of the yuga that we are in, if I can use that as an example. Not just one thing, but that's one of it. So, and he has come as a human form and being challenged in such a way. So how is that person, or every one of us, is going to face it? And we may fall back into lesser forms of being after this.
Okay, the question is very simple. I think, I rephrase the question. It means like you're talking about Kali Yuga. It's a very challenging time, and how to pursue Dharma, how to follow Dharma, and how to withstand the temptation of this world. Okay, where there's every temptation to drag you down. Okay, see, interestingly, so I'd like to share one thing. So we have this belief about this Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga. And if you look at the source of this is the Srimad Bhagavatam, and it is being interpreted. Even the Kali Yuga itself, they say it is 432,000 years, and they said we have only passed 5,000 years. And people say, oh, even now 5,000 years already so bad. What about the remaining 427,000 years? Okay, how are we going to survive? So you see, this Paramahamsa Yogananda, I'm sure many of you aware of him. He wrote this famous book, The Autobiography of Yogi. So his guru, Sri Yukteswar, Swami Sri Yukteswar, we can say he's something like a modern rishi. Okay, so he did some research on this, and he said, I would advise you to read that book also, The Holy Science. Okay, in that book, he have corrected this concept of yuga. He said the entire yuga concept is actually a 24,000 year cycle. And there is some mathematical error which they made. Okay, so I mean, I don't want to go into that, it's a bit detailed. So, but basically, in brief, 12,000 of ascending yugas and 12,000 of descending yugas. Okay, so the ascending yuga, so it starts from 4,000 to 3,000. So each yuga, there were 4,000, 3,000, 2,000, and 1,000. I mean, like, and you have to add about 200. Okay, 4,200, 3,600, something like that. And Kali Yuga is basically about 1,200 years, which means like ours is currently we are in the ascending. So we are actually, according to Sri Yukti, so we are in the ascending Kali Yuga. That means Satya Yuga is very close. And this is also supported by the theory of astrology. So we are finishing with the Piscean age and we are entering the Aquarian age. Okay, so Kali Yuga ends with the Piscean age and Aquarian age. The new Satya Yuga is starting. Okay, despite a lot of restlessness in this age, we also made a lot of progress. Okay, but to answer your question, in this what you call ascending Kali Yuga, and many gurus have mentioned, if someone despite could do sadhana properly and regularly, despite the challenges in this yuga, they actually will make tremendous amount of progress. Okay, so in the era, so even the Puranas mentioned this, you have to do more penance in Satya Yuga because there's no distraction. But in Kali Yuga, you did little penance, okay, you'll progress very fast. Okay, there's always a takeaway. Okay, there's a catch and there's a takeaway. So you have some advantage, you have some disadvantage. Okay, okay, but the question is how to overcome the temptation. Is very simple. See, first, so you are here, for example, you are here and I've met you. So somehow you have this concern about this dharma, about following dharma. So that's a very good start. So not many people have that. So you have to nurture that urge for dharma. Okay. So how to nurture? So you have to do. So what dharma demands? Dharma demands every living being to do sadhana every day. So it means like, just like you need 8 hours of sleep. So I mentioned last week. So why sleep is required is because of, you need to flush out what do you call that, these thoughts from subconscious minds. Okay, so similarly sadhana is required for you to get connected, because sleep, even though you may go to the unconscious state, still you don't touch Atman. Okay, so what is important is you need to get connected to your Atman. So that's why scientific sadhana is very important. Okay, some people will say we can't do that, we just do puja and all. Okay, that's the first step. It's just like going kindergarten. But we have the intelligence. In the present age, we have the intelligence to do proper sadhana. And we should stick to that. Okay, so, and when you learn sadhana, what do you call, yeah, I saw one reader. Yes, this ascending Kali Yuga. Okay, there's one reader mentioned that according to Yukteswar Giri, we are in ascending Dwapara Yuga. Yes, that Dwapara Yuga. So we are in the ascending process. Dwapara Yuga is during the Industrial Revolution. Okay. Okay, thanks for pointing that out. Okay, back to this Velu. So yeah, sadhana is important. Okay, and doing service. Okay, part of dharma sadhana is to serve other people. Okay, and not only serving human beings, serving the tree. Okay, water the tree. Okay, feed the birds. Okay, feed the poor. We don't do that. So one problem in Kali Yuga now, in the present era, is that we are actually very self-centered. That is our problem. That's our biggest problem. Okay, so even the way we live, so we don't even care about who's our neighbor. So and the lifestyle has become such, and we are very concerned about about our own well-being. This is because even though many people say I'm Christian, I'm Hindu, I'm Islam and all that, but the universal religion which everyone is following is the religion of capitalism. Okay, the religion of consumption, that I should earn and I should consume. So this is the way of life. people, that is the ideology people are following. Okay, even though they said, oh, I worship God and all that, but action speaks louder than talk, isn't it? So it has to be reflected in your action. So dharma means requires you to do sadhana. Sadhana is very important. Okay, and constantly studying about dharma. Okay, dharma sastra is very important, and do service. And on top of that, you must have a powerful guru. Okay, so it is Brahma himself comes to you in the form of guru. So you must always get connected to the guru. If you're very evolved like Ramana Maharishi, so you can connect to the universal source through your own Atman. Okay, otherwise most people, they need to be connected through a guru. Okay, through an elevated guru, of course. Okay, did I answer your question? Hello.
Yes, you did. Thank you.
So as I said, there's a takeaway. So in Kali Yuga, so even little amount of sadhana, okay, will have high benefit. Okay, even like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to propagate the Harinam chanting. Okay, so many gurus said, okay, even at least try to do a little japa. Okay, if you can spend 10 minutes doing japa of the name of the Lord. Okay, that's the beginning. Okay, that's not the end. Okay, because as I said, Bhakti Yoga, just merely doing puja, doing name chanting without ideation. Okay, name chanting with bhavana is a higher state. Okay, so I will cover that in future. I mean, I'll do a session on sadhana. So many people think that simply parroting in the name of God is equivalent to sadhana. Sadhana means you have to get full. I mean, you have to get really involved in the process. Okay. So any other question or any other thought? Okay. No questions. Okay. Now it's 9:25. So it's very engaging session. So I'd like to thank everyone for listening. So you will meet again in the next session. Okay. Thank you and namaskar.
Thank you, sir. Namaskar.